Hey there. An old friend of mine used to tell me, sometimes you just gotta switch it up. Alright, so what do I mean by switching it up? Well, in my second growing season here, and I'm having some trouble with some stuff, as I mentioned in my update last week, and I've been thinking a lot about it and trying to figure out what the best strategy is. I've had some great conversations with people, and one conversation I had was actually yesterday with Michael Kilpatrick. Maybe you guys know who he is, but he invited me on his podcast, and you know what, I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out his podcast. My episode probably won't come out for a while, but you know, just in that conversation, he was asking me to give some advice for new farmers, and I often like to share my experience, as I still consider myself a fairly new farmer. And one of the things was, if things aren't working, just because you want them to work doesn't mean they're gonna work. So, you know, when you follow the advice of other farmers, you know, they have a different context. And just because, you know, you, for example, like I really want to grow baby greens and salad greens and stuff like that, but if it's not working, you know, you're just losing time, energy, and money by planting it and then losing the crop. So, you know, you might think about, which is what I'm doing right now, is planting maybe a little bit less profitable crop, you know, per linear foot. You know, on a small scale, you really need to maximize that, but, you know, you try to switch up the crops a little bit, and that could give you a successful crop. You know, a successful crop is gonna be better than no crop. Hey, so you guys know we grow a lot of lettuce, and that's gonna be, you know, we're gonna be doing that moving forwards, but really I've been struggling with brassicas in the summer, and it's something that happened last summer too, and I told myself, no more brassicas in the summer. And maybe I have a short memory, or I don't know, I thought I could get around it this year. You know, a lot of the salad greens I like growing are things like kale and arugula and mizuna, tatsoi, radish, you know, stuff like that that, you know, is quick growing, high yields, can get a good value for, stuff you can make a good amount of money on. But, you know, if you keep planting it and it's not growing well, then you gotta switch it up. You gotta do something different. So this year I thought, all right, well, I'll try some insect netting, and you know, I got some Agribon, the Ag 19, which is the lightest I could get locally. I know Agribon makes an Ag 15, I just couldn't get it locally, so that's what I went with. And I've had mixed results with it, as I mentioned in my update video. Some crops totally failed, some just the quality wasn't right, that sort of thing. I know there's ProtectNet, and I would love to try it at some point, but I just feel like, you know, one of the things that I look at, I try to look through a permaculture lens a little bit, and I know it's not completely applicable in, you know, a production farming situation, but you know, I really want to try to work with nature and not against it as much as possible. Now, if I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing and fighting against things, you know, it doesn't work out necessarily, and sometimes it's not worth that effort. And I planted out a lot of beds in the last month or two that just haven't either produced enough or produced the quality I'm looking for, or just didn't make it. So yeah, let me show you some of that stuff. All right, so we got a bed of arugula here, and this one I grew under that row cover for pretty much the entire time until the last few days. I actually did get one cut off of it in a baby stage, but it was so spicy. Like, even people like arugula were like, whoa, this is crazy. And the Ag 19 traps in heat. It was just, you know, basically cooking it. It was just way too hot in there. And yeah, just the quality is not great, and I really don't want to send that out. If I'm not happy with the quality, you know, that's our product here, and that's what we're looking for, is high quality. So that didn't really work so much with the arugula. Context is everything, as I always say. You know, just the heat and the humidity here, and the pest pressure it's different everywhere you farm. And just because people can grow certain things online and you watch them doesn't mean you can in your context. This is another bed of arugula. This one I did not use cover, and you know, awesome germination, grew really well. You know, starting to get some holes in it from the bugs. So again, not sure about the quality on this, but that's the reality for arugula for me right now. Got a bed of kale here that was grown under cover. This one's actually doing okay. I might actually uncover this, but man, when you pull the Agribon back, the heat just comes pouring out. So you just know it's too warm in there. This stuff just traps in too much heat. But yeah, not so bad. This might be salvageable, we'll see. All right, we got some mizuna here. There are parts that look good in here for sure. This one's been one of the more successful out of the ones that I've covered. But again, I only got one cut off of it, and the yield wasn't that great. So, you know, as I'm saying here, I'm gonna try some different crops. All right, so here's some crops that I've been pretty happy with lately, and these aren't ready to harvest yet, but these bunching onions or green onions look awesome. First time I've ever grown these, man. They're just doing great. These are transplanted out about a month after seeding inside. Here's some sorrel. You know, as I said with sorrel, I love sorrel. It's just germination is not always perfect, but once you get the bed established, you can cut it many times. So that's one that's been okay for me, and it's been selling really well too. People love it. All right, here's my first succession of cucumbers. Still pumping out cucumbers. I gotta harvest these. Some of them are getting way too big. But yeah, cucumbers have been doing really well, and there's a second succession behind them, and I might do one more before the season's over. So, you know, just finding the crops that work. I'm gonna try to double down on what works and cut out what doesn't, sort of the 80-20 rule. And if you haven't heard of that, that's just an awesome way to run a farm or a business. You know, 80% of your business comes from 20% of your stuff. So, you know, put your effort in where it counts. Got some nice lettuces. So yeah, as I said, we're gonna keep up with that. Seem to have these varieties going pretty well. But we're gonna try a couple other varieties. That's gonna be fun. Well, one thing that's been pretty consistent are the chickens. They're laying a lot of eggs right now, so that's been a good money maker. But let's get back to the vegetables here. So in the mini greenhouse up here is totally stuffed. We got eggplants. This is the first time growing eggplants, but I'm looking forward to that. I hope that will be a good warm weather crop for us. And I have some more going behind this, and we can try to get these out for, you know, the end of the summer, because we have a long growing season here. We also got some more tomatoes started here. So you can see we're totally full here, and my lights and my racks inside are completely full. We're scaling up our microgreens a little bit for some restaurant customers, but yeah, I'm going to be adding another table inside the high tunnel so that we can get some more transplants out there and have a little bit more nursery space. So as I said, after a few discussions, I'm trying to figure out some other things to try in the heat here, things that just are successful. I mean, you can't push what doesn't work. You got to work with things. And so one of the things I'm going to try now are some green beans, and I planted those out yesterday, and we'll do a couple successions of those. I grew some earlier in the season just for our family, and they were great. They were super easy. I mean, the maintenance was just the harvesting. So on this scale, I'll take care of that. I'm out here harvesting every couple days for cucumbers and stuff anyway. So, you know, you see a bed of kale over here that's doing great. I don't know. We'll see how it does when it comes up. We'll see how it gets with the bugs. But yeah, guys, just keep in mind, I just want to show you some of the things that are not working here. There's a lot of things that are going well, but, you know, every year is a challenge. And when you're starting out, you have to, you know, you got to start with some model. You got to start planting something, and then, you know, you sort of figure out what works and what doesn't. And, you know, I'm trying to work with nature here a little bit and try to get some successful products, even if they're maybe a little bit less profitable. But, you know, not having product at all means no money. So just want to share this with you guys, just some of my thoughts, and, you know, just trying to switch things up a little bit. And I will keep you guys posted about all this stuff. I also planted some radicchio, so that's going to be kind of cool. And yeah, I'm just going to start to do some more transplanting and that sort of thing. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your friends, all that. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.